Cooking veggies can be as easy or as difficult as you like, but at the end of the day, you want a tasty dish with the most flavor and nutrients possible. To prepare vegetables properly, it's important to understand the most common mistakes made in this field and how to avoid them. You will be able to cook excellent and healthful vegetable dishes in this manner. You can alternate raw and cooked veggies in your dishes, to reap the full advantages of these meals. Here are some mistakes to avoid when cooking vegetables. Before we get into it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, so you won't miss out on our future uploads. 1. Not cooking them at all. While it is true that many veggies are healthier when eaten raw, this is not the case for all. Raw beets, broccoli, onions, and bell peppers have more nutrients, but heat actually makes some vegetables more nutritious. When asparagus is steamed, it activates cancer-fighting properties. When mushrooms are sauteed, grilled, or roasted, they provide additional potassium. While raw spinach is delicious in salads, cooking it allows you to absorb more calcium, iron, and magnesium. Similarly, when tomatoes are cooked, you absorb more cancer-fighting lycopene. It's a good idea to consume a lot of raw vegetables, while also enjoying some prepared and delicious meals. 2. Boiling them. Cooking vegetables by boiling them is a time-honored approach, however it depletes the nutrients in the vegetables. You may also wind up with some extremely soggy vegetables that aren't that attractive. Only when making soup, should vegetables be immersed in boiling water, and even then, only for a brief period. If you want to soften them, blanch them in boiling water for a few minutes and then move them to an ice bath before they lose their vivid color. You could also try steaming them instead. When cooking pasta, rice, or quinoa, place your steamer on top of the boiling grain, and cook your vegetables at the same time. 3. Not adding salt. You're probably wondering why we're discussing how to boil water. When boiling a vegetable that responds well to the boiling method of cooking, such as potatoes, adding salt to the water allows it to boil at a greater temperature than if there was no salt added. Salt can also enhance the flavor of anything you're steaming or boiling, ensuring that your dish is not just edible but also wonderful. 4. Oiling the vegetables. Smothering your vegetables in oil before cooking them may appear to be a foolproof strategy to keep them from sticking to the pan, and preventing you from getting a complete portion of vegetables. Unfortunately, putting oil on the vegetables increases the risk of them being burned, because the oil will become quite hot. Instead, coat the pan with a thin layer of extra virgin olive oil before adding the vegetables. You won't have to worry about the food adhering to the pan, or the vegetables being disgusting. 5. Chopping veggies too early. If you slice your vegetables too far in advance, they may become dried and lose their fresh flavor. To keep your vegetables as fresh and crisp as possible, chop them just before you're ready to cook them. Some people like to plan ahead and complete things, rather than waiting until the last minute. While this is a desirable quality in some situations, it does not always apply to veggies. Oxidation and nutritional loss, as well as wilting and spoiling, begin as soon as they are washed and cut. It is preferable to cut your vegetables just before using them. If you like to prepare ahead of time, try chopping them beforehand and then freezing them to avoid dehydration. Simply thaw and cook once you're ready. 6. You're tossing out the good parts. How many times have you dumped the broccoli stalk and leaves into the trash after chopping them off? Or the skins of cucumbers and potatoes that have been peeled off? Don't feel bad if you do it frequently, it's a common mistake. But now is the time to adjust your practices, and stop discarding the vegetable's healthiest sections. The skins, leaves, and stalks of vegetables provide nutrients that are not found in any other part of the produce. They also have higher vitamin concentrations than more regularly consumed components. Remove the peeler from the equation and replace it with a chop and toss. Broccoli stalks and leaves can be used in stir fries, soups, and salads, to get a healthy dose of nutrients. 7. Smoking them out. While you may enjoy the slightly charred flavor you're grilling parts to veggie kebabs, The hot, dry environment might deplete the nutrients in your vegetables. Worse, if you keep them on the grill long enough, they'll develop a blackened, charred appearance, which indicates they've been exposed to benzopyrene, a carcinogen found in cigarette smoke. Instead of kebabs, use a grill basket to roast your vegetables next time you're grilling outside. This method reduces the possibility of consuming harmful char, while preserving the moisture, vitamins, and nutrients in the vegetables. Cooking dinner at home. Before heating your vegetables, keep the heat on medium-high, and forgo the olive oil drizzle. 8. Overcrowding the pan. We frequently try to cram as much food into our pan as possible, in order for it to cook faster and allow us to eat sooner. While this is a sensible strategy, there is one drawback. When food is overcrowded in a skillet, it does not cook uniformly, resulting in inconsistent flavor, texture, and temperature. If you're cooking for a large company, make sure you have a couple of fry pans, to keep everything at the same temperature. 9. Cooking vegetables when wet. It's possible that you're not even aware that you're making this typical blunder. While washing your vegetables is a good idea, failing to pat them dry before cooking can result in a ruined dish. When they are overly wet, the water creates steam, which causes the food to become mushy. Your vegetables will stay bright and crisp if you completely dry them. When placed in a hot pan of oil, wet food can also be dangerous. Place your vegetables on a clean dish towel or paper towel, and blot them dry before cooking. This will help you get the most out of your meal, and is time well spent. 10. Roasting at too low temperature. Even the harshest critics can be converted into die-hard fans of perfectly roasted vegetables. But if what comes out of the oven isn't golden and crisp on the outside, but tender and creamy on the inside, something's wrong, and it's most likely the cooking temperature. Most veggies need to be cooked at 400 to 450 degrees, to acquire that beautiful caramelized exterior, while still being cooked through on the inside. When roasting vegetables, the ideal oven temperature isn't the only consideration. You'll also need the right pan. Because of their low sides, baking sheets are ideal for roasting vegetables. Any temperature that is too high, will prevent water from evaporating, resulting in soggy vegetables. 11. Cooking them the same way every time. When we're hungry, the simplest thing to do is prepare meals in the most efficient manner possible. This is enjoyable for a while, but it soon becomes tedious. Veggies may be prepared in so many various ways that it's worth trying something new every time. It will also assist children who dislike vegetables, in determining how they prefer their produce cooked, and acclimating to a variety cuisine. 12. Not washing them properly. Celery, spinach, sweet bell peppers, and tomatoes, all farmed conventionally and contaminated with pesticides, made the Environmental Working Group's annual Dirty Dozen list. You're likely ingesting chemical residues if you rinse these vegetables quickly or don't wash them at all. This can cause stomach pain, nausea, and diarrhea. The worst aspect is that these compounds don't go away. They hide in your fat cells until you start losing weight and go on a diet. According to studies, as weight loss begins, substances in the body awaken from their slumber and enter the bloodstream, decreasing energy expenditure and metabolism. Even if you usually buy organic, soak your vegetables for 10 to 15 minutes in a pot of water before eating them. Then, to make sure they're clean, give them another brief rinse under running water. Well, there you have it. Did you find this video informational or helpful? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Here are some other videos you might like. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more health-related content.